I've been wasting my life for about 23 years thinking that everything I needed for me was outside myself, looking to be included in groups with friends that I thought was my friends, trying to please everybody, living in an illusion, following what other people was doing. But one day I realized that everything I was doing was wrong. I couldn't recognize myself. I want something, then I achieve that goal, but as soon as I achieve that thing, I feel emptiness. Nothing could fulfill that thing I was looking for. But one day I understood that what I'm looking for is not outside. And as soon as I become conscious about who I was and who I'm doing right now, everything is start to make sense because we are conditioned to follow patterns for the people, even family, friends, relationships, people that we never get engaged, but for some reason we are repeating what they are doing, and we live our lives in this zone as a friends, family, relationship, society, government, and we think we have to please all of them. We think that everything we need is outside. Oh, I need a better car. I need a better friends. I need another relationship. I need to be perfect. And you get new friends, but you don't feel good. You achieve new things in your family, but you don't feel fulfilled. You go for a new relationship, but you don't feel fulfilled. You keep running for things, appearance, even worse things like drugs, alcohol, party all the time, and this thing gives you a momentary pleasure, and that momentary pleasure is never enough. But one day I realized that I was living my life in a loop. I was repeating the same thing year over year, and that thing never end. I understood that friends that I thought was friends never was a friend. I thought some patterns that I was going through my family that was things I could believe it was right, it wasn't. I was looking for the kind of relationships to just feed my ego because you're looking for somebody perfect, you're looking for somebody beautiful, but when you look that person inside, they are destroyed. They are so dark. And none of these things wasn't completing myself. I couldn't feel enough. But as soon as I brought conscience for myself to understand who I am, everything started to make sense. I start to realize that I don't need to be in parties, I don't need to be in relationship, I don't need to be around friends to feel enough, to feel recognized. And I start to understand that in the past, when you used to live as a tribal, we had this in our DNA that we need to please, we need to prove that we are good enough to be included in that group. And we have this pattern in our DNA. But if you don't pay attention, you get much more things with your family, with your friends. You get traumas, you get fears, you adopt new personalities, then you start to follow your ego even more. And yeah, I was living an illusion for years, at least in my country. The most part of the population, they are living this. At the beginning of the year, it's Carnival. After Carnival is a Santo week. After this week is something called San Juan. Then after we have Christmas time. Then we end with the New Year. We just living in that loop, working 9 to 5, paying bills, work, pay bills, living that rush. You don't know who you are. You don't know why you are doing that job. You don't know why you're in that relationship. You don't know why your mind is so confused. You don't know why your mind is projecting things to you. And you think you are an individual being that if you need something, you have to do by yourself. Nothing's inside, everything is outside. Then I start to realize that the state I have in my mind as a consciousness is creating what I have outside. Then these external things stop making sense. And I start to understand that I'm already am. I'm happy, I'm enough, I'm abundant, I'm prosper, I'm whatever I want to be. Because I create things. I create the things for my external. And if I don't stop to live an illusion, trying to please everybody else, instead of looking for the right thing, instead of to express my consciousness and increase, jump one level more to become better than I was before. And as soon as I realized that I something else, I stop thinking that I need to be in that party with dead people because if I'm not there, they're not gonna remember me. I stop to please people to just be in a relationship. I stop to be too good. You can't be too good. You have to be fair. You can't be a bad person, but you can't be good. You have to be fair. Towards this fairness for that. And people start to respect you because you respected you before. And as soon as I realized, I reset everything. I reset the patterns, I reset the traumas, the fears, everything that I was doing, repeating. I reset everything. And after my 24 years old, I started again, fresh as a babe. I went to a new country. I start to speak a new language, as you can see, English. English is not my mother language. I start to build my family. I start to live a new culture. I start to see a different world. But I start to clean deep who I was in that time. I start to realize what is really important for myself. And this video is for you. If you are lost in some moment in your life, if you don't recognize who you are, if you don't understand why you live in the same thing, repeating the same patterns, going to the same direction, doing the same thing over and over again, stop. Start to make question to yourself. Who I am, what's the reason I'm here, why I'm repeating the same thing every single year, and start to bring consciousness. As soon as you become aware of who you are, it brings you freedom. Because the true freedom is when you stop your mind, when you understand who you are, and you don't confuse yourself with thoughts and ego, when you don't confuse yourself with your external, with appearance. And that's how the really true things start to appear in your life. And that's the video for today. I hope you identify yourself with this, and if you feel lost, bring clarity to yourself. You are much more than party, drugs, alcohol, please, and start to understand. You don't need nobody to do this for you. You are just the only one that can make this happen. I see you in the next video.